Welcome to my channel. Today we'll learn all about the sea stars. The ocean floor is full of fascinating things we have yet to fully explore, such as the beautiful and colorful sea stars. Despite their gentle appearance, they are actually greedy predators. Marine scientists have long debated replacing the widely used name starfish with sea star, because sea stars are not fish at all. In fact, they belong to the phylum Echinodermata, closely related to sea urchins and sand dollars. Number of species. There are about 2,000 species of sea stars living in oceans worldwide, from tropical waters to cold seas. The five-armed starfish is the most common, but there are species with 10, 20, or even 40 arms. The largest sea star ever found had 45 arms. Starfish are exclusively animals. There are no known plant species with names like sea star or starfish. Although many organisms live in the ocean and have star-shaped bodies, such as the sea star, none of them are related. Defensive adaptations. Most sea stars are covered with a spiny outer skin and a hard internal skeleton called an endoskeleton. These features help defend sea stars against predators. But this is not true for all sea stars. For example, in shallow coastal areas, some sea star species have evolved to have thin, flexible skins to allow them to crawl more easily over rocks and seaweed. As a result, these species are more vulnerable to being eaten. And some starfish, like brittle stars, have reduced skeletons and rely on camouflage to avoid predators. The striking red, orange, and purple colors of many sea stars warn potential attackers that they are toxic or bad-tasting. Toxic sea stars have chemical defenses within their tissue which make them unpalatable or poisonous to predators. Some sea stars, such as the crown of thorns sea star, have developed thick, tough skin and tough armor as protection against predators. This sea star lives among sharp rocks and coral. Its tough skin helps it avoid being injured, while its sharp spines can injure predators trying to eat it. Regeneration ability. Besides their unique appearance, sea stars are famous for their ability to regenerate lost body parts. In some cases, they can regrow their entire body. This is possible because most of their vital organs are stored in their arms. As long as part of the central disc remains intact, the sea star can regrow its missing arms. In some species, if a predator eats part of one of its arms, the whole arm can be regenerated. Some species can regrow a full body from just a small fragment of an arm containing a part of the central disc. Starfish can also regenerate broken spines, tube feet, and severed portions of their tube feet. Many sea star species lose an arm while fighting prey or escaping from a predator. The regeneration process begins immediately after the injury. The wound heals quickly and new tissue grows beneath it. As the new arm grows, the surrounding tissue forms a protective covering around it. A new arm takes about 6 to 8 weeks to grow. Starfish can replace any number of arms as needed, although usually they regrow one arm at a time. But in some species, several new arms may start growing simultaneously. Regrowing many arms at once could weaken the sea star, so it seems to make sense to replace one arm at a time. Unusual feeding habits. Most sea stars have the extraordinary ability to digest their prey outside their body. Sea stars capture prey by extending their tubular feet. These are small, flexible, and retractable structures found on the underside of the sea star. Tube feet are connected to a hydraulic system that runs through the animal's body. The hydraulic system allows the tube feet to extend, contract, and manipulate objects. To eat, sea stars first pry open the shell of a clam or mussel using their tube feet. Then they push their stomachs out through their mouths and into the prey. After the food is digested, the stomach is retracted back into the body. The digestive system of sea stars consists of a central stomach connected to 2 or more smaller regional stomachs located at the base of each arm. The small stomachs have blind digestive ends and open to the outside of the body via the mouth. Once the prey is captured, the central stomach expands into the prey and secretes digestive enzymes. The enzymes break down the inside of the clam shell and allow the stomach to be pushed through the opening. The undigested remains of the prey are expelled from the sea star's body through the anus. While most sea stars feed on mollusks, others specialize in eating sponges, corals, anemones, other echinoderms, and even algae. Several species are scavengers, feeding on dead animals and organic debris. A few unusual species of sea stars have adapted to feed on animals that are alive but not moving. For example, the sunstar feeds on paralyzed fish and sea slugs, while the white sea star preys on sea cucumbers and the purple sea star feeds on sea urchins. Other interesting facts about sea stars. Here are some more interesting facts about sea stars. A sea star has an eye at the tip of each arm, but it cannot distinguish colors. It can only see light and dark. Sea stars have no brain and no blood. Instead of blood, they use filtered seawater as a circulatory fluid. The water vascular system also enables the sea star to move, feed, and breathe. Their nervous system is spread throughout their arms. That's why sea stars are highly sensitive to touch and chemicals in the water. Each arm is equipped with sensory cells that send signals to the nerve ring. The ring surrounds the mouth and connects to radial nerves that run the length of each arm. So basically, sea stars have a nerve cell in each arm. Sea stars can feel vibrations on their arms. Vibrations produced by potential mates travel along their arms and activate the receptors. A sea star can pass on information along its nerve ring, but there is no central point like a brain to receive information. Despite having no brain, sea stars exhibit intelligence. They can solve mazes, learn to find food, and show signs of memory. Sea stars typically reproduce by external fertilization. Male and female sea stars release sperm and eggs into the water, where they meet and form a zygote. The zygote develops into a free-swimming larva that eventually settles to the seafloor and undergoes metamorphosis into an adult sea star. However, some deep-sea species brood their eggs internally, and some broadcast spawn, while others simply release eggs and sperm directly into the water. Some sea stars can split their bodies in half during asexual reproduction. This process, known as fission, results in two new sea stars, each identical to the parent. Starfish are generally slow-moving animals, but they do have a way of speeding up. They can propel themselves through the water by releasing water from their tube feet. By doing so, sea stars can move up to 10 times the length of their body per minute. Importance in the ecosystem. Sea stars are considered a keystone species in their ecosystem. Removing sea stars from a system can cause major changes. In the rocky intertidal zone of the Pacific coast of North America, for instance, the six-armed sea star Pisaster ocraceus preys on the mussel Mytilus californianus. Mussels outcompete other species for space on rocks, so they are ecosystem engineers. When Pisaster is present, the mussels must spread out. But when Pisaster is removed, the mussels can grow together and crowd out other organisms, drastically altering the community structure. Sea stars are also a source of food for animals such as sea otters, birds, and fish. Did you know? Most sea stars prefer colder water, but a few species thrive in warmer waters. For example, the crown of thorns sea star lives in the tropical waters of the Indian Ocean. Many sea stars are named after mythological figures from Greek, Roman, and Norse legends. For example, the sun star is named after the Greek titan Hyperion, who personified the sun. Sea stars play an important role in our culture. They feature prominently in the folklore of many coastal communities. In Japan, the starfish is a symbol of good luck and is often given as a gift. Classification. Sea stars belong to the phylum Echinodermata, which includes other spiny-skinned animals such as sea urchins, sand dollars, and sea cucumbers. The name Echinodermata comes from the Greek word echino, meaning spiny, and derma, meaning skin. The phylum is divided into two classes, Asteroidea, which includes most sea stars, and Ophiuroidea, which includes brittle stars and serpent stars. The class Asteroidea is divided into about 40 orders, including the order Asteroidea, which contains the five-armed starfish. So what should we talk about next? Please let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed learning about sea stars. Thanks for watching. See you next time.